It's myself over here, left-handed at RM That's on Twitter, which is this right now. And over there, best beware, is Browski, aka Yada Bear, aka High Ceilings, aka O1. We still gonna have some fun.
Exactly.
Um, Listen, I'm gonna say this before we get started. Shout out to Don Mattingly, right? We're gonna get into that because I think Browski's got a little brighter outlook on her squad these days. Being that it's a New York and Philly thing with the Sixers and the Knicks in the second round in the Eastern Conference playoffs. You
Yep.
got the Phillies doing their thing. They got rid of their manager Rob Thompson, and they hired Don Mattingly, who comes from, yeah, you guessed it, Yankee Land. But we're not gonna hold that against the Phillies. Browski's down with us. We down with Browski and all that. But might have to remind her over the summer why the Phillies are back to where they're supposed to be at in the first place. But we'll get into that. We're gonna get into the NBA playoffs. We're gonna get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. My get down on it is gonna be. It might hurt some feelings.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna tell the truth. Browski was good. Y'all the Bears in the house, y'all.
Ah, man, relaxing, getting ready to watch this game two. Had the Phillies on a little bit. Then we got game two popping off. Um, city's buzzing. Flyers, playing Carolina. Heartbreaking loss in game two, loss in overtime, let them come back. Um, Sixers, Sixers been up and down all year. Sixers is doing a usual playoff run where they play game one and get blown out, and you know maybe we get a bounce back in game two. Game two always seems to be the game that the Sixers decide to show up and play. We saw it against the Celtics. They went to Boston, got blown out in game one. Celtics hitting everything. We look like we even supposed to be there. Game two, different story. So, sometimes we just need a little tune up game, and maybe game one is a tune up game. It's like it's like, all right, well, so that was what that happened. So game two, we are here, but no Joel and B. He got hip and ankle issues. Same story, different year, playoffs. He's banged up. We expect him to at least be healthy. We know he just came back from surgery. That was great. But now we back to the nickel and dime injuries. Hip, ankle. It's like, all right. So now he's out. Maybe he'll be better for game three. Seems like he was playing at like 40% on Monday. Like right at the opening tip, my man looked gassed already. I said he got his fourth quarter sweat and already, and they just at they just tipped off. He's already sweating like crazy. I'm like, all right, these guys were gassed, but
Like Patrick Ewing.
for, yo, that's exactly how I felt. I said, I'm looking at him. I'm like, you about to do the tip off? Why are you drenched? I said, yeah. I said, this guy is gassed. I'm like, this guy, sit this guy down, give him a couple Gatorades and the IV because
Mm.
he shouldn't be out there. But like I said, we'll see what happens tonight. How you feeling up there?
Um,
Y'all jumping out the window
it
up there?
depends on who you ask, Kimmy. Depends on who you ask. If you ask a younger Knicks fan that's caught up in the wave, right? Oh, the Knicks are gonna sweep the Sixers, and if you ask a fan who's seen this, movie before, where all the eggs are in the proverbial basket, everything's set up for the Knicks to, take this thing, but it's the Knicks, right? Um, Feeling good. Can't be mad at being up 1-0. Can't be mad at holding teams under 100 points, three straight playoff games. That can't be mad at that. Can it continue? It should. Like I said last week. I think this was the team that people were expecting, that what people were talking about at the beginning of the season. All right, especially with what they had to deal with in regards to what was going on in Indiana, what was going on in Boston, or whatever. So it was everything was set up for the Knicks to make a run to the Eastern Conference. But things happen. The season happens, right, Kimmy?
Yeah.
Here comes Jason Tatum, and now everybody goes crazy, like, oh, Boston Celtics, whoop de whoop. So now reality comes to play, which the playoffs, there's no Jason Tatum no more. We ain't got to worry about that. So now we got the Sixers and the New York Knicks. And on the other side, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers, right, and the Detroit Pistons. We'll get into that in a minute. I feel like, the question was thrown at me by a friend of ours, a common friend of ours. Have the Knicks found their groove? I'm like, the last 3 games, yeah. So that question, I can't qualify that question until we get to the finals. And we're playing consistent. We don't, we can't find our groove if we're down 3-2 in the series. We can't find our groove if it's 3-3 going to game 7. What groove, right? So the Knicks are playing, to me, Kimmy, and I said that too. I think I said that to you last week. We was playing Atlanta. Some of the best basketball. Like, they were throwing up shots that, them shots not going in. They're going in. Everything is going in. Everything. They're getting to the loose balls. They're getting the rebounds. They're playing defense, which is really crazy. So for me, I'm liking what I'm seeing because it kind of like solidifies or underlines my point that I had all season long about Mike Brown. And people were saying, oh, Mike Brown is not doing this. Mike Brown's not doing enough. Mike Brown's doing too much. Mike Brown's doing what Mike Brown does. It seems like everybody was like, when the Knicks were going through what they were going through, which they go through every year, right, Kimmy? Mm-hmm. Get rid of Mike Brown. Mike Brown don't know what the hell he doing, and they should have never let Tom Thibodeau go, and whoop-de-whoop. Before the season started, I said, Mike Brown is going to tell these dudes when they're doing good. Mike Brown's going to tell them when they're not doing so good. He's going to hold them accountable. He's going to, make them do what they need to do. If he needs to get at them, then do that. And I'm totally with it. And that got us to where we are right now. Mike Brown's a championship coach. And like I said, when I prefaced my conversation, I said it depends on who you ask, right? Get rid of Mike Brown. Mike Brown ain't doing a word. Now, for me, I'm like up 1-0. I don't want to be pessimistic about it, but we always have an annual playoff game where we're up 19 with 3 minutes with 3 minutes to go, and a shot hits off the rim and it bounces up in the air and it goes in, or somebody blows a layup. Like, I haven't been to this before, so Browski, you gotta bear with me. I'm not saying the Knicks are gonna lose tonight, but like I said in the beginning, I think we was backstage. I said I would not be surprised because it's the Knicks. It's the New York Knicks. I would not be surprised. So if the Knicks beat the Sixers tonight by 35 points, what am I supposed to say? We're going to be in the finals in June because you guys didn't have Joel Embiid, and maybe things were going our way, and maybe we are on a heater right now. But the Eastern Conference Finals have not been played yet. The NBA Finals definitely have not been played yet. So we're just playing decent basketball right now, and we are where people thought we should be, right? 1-0, going to game 2 in the second round in the Eastern Conference. Now, basically healthy, Kimmy, that helped a lot too now. You know what I mean? That helps a lot. So, we're seeing our guys every night. You know what I'm saying? So that leads into it as well. So it's a lot of things going the Knicks' way right now, but they're going to have to continue. The ball has to continue to roll. You know what I mean? We still got games this weekend coming up down there in your neck of the woods. So we're going to do that. So again, a win tonight only means we're going to be up 2-0 going to Philly, right? The youngsters are going to be going crazy out there on 34th Street. They're going to be talking about sleep and this and that and the third, while the people like myself and yourself who've seen this tape before are going to take it as it comes and take it for what it is. The Knicks are up, going to Philly. We'll see what happens, right? So, again, am I feeling good? I'm feeling, I'm all right. I'm up on out. You know what I'm saying? But again, stranger things have happened. We were up 3-2 against the Houston Rockets in '94. I'm gonna say that again. We were up 3-2 against the Houston Rockets in '94. That was the OJ thing for y'all that fresh baby breaths. That was the OJ thing. But again, Browski, I'm feeling good about it. What's your thoughts in regards to what's going on in Orlando or Detroit, or you want to speak to anything else with your Philadelphia 76ers?
Um, the one thing I'll say about the Sixers is, am I in the panic mode right now? No, because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I've seen this story before. We just watched it in the last series. Um, like
Mm-hmm.
I told you backstage, the Sixers getting blown out in the first game. It's nothing new. It seems to happen every playoff series that we play. That for some strange reason we just don't show up in game one. Doesn't matter who we play. But it seems like in game two, it's like a reset button. And we'll see where it goes. Coming out of New York with a split is very ideal. You know, that will put us in a great place because
Mm-hmm.
split,
Mm-hmm.
the series starts over. Now it's 0-0 all over
The
again.
whole conversation changes,
Yeah.
right?
So, you know, today game is important as every playoff game is, but if we come out with a loss, would I be like, oh, the series is over? No, because again, we beat Boston without Joel, who didn't play for the first three games, and then
Mm-hmm.
even the game he came back, we still lost. But then we was able to turn it around and win three straight. So I don't see the series being over, even with a loss today. We just have to retool, but coming out of New York split, that's ideal. I say it's a very successful road trip, you know. So, but we could definitely talk about the Cleveland Detroit because that's like a series that nobody really talking about. It's kind of laid back because you got two teams that you kind of look at like, I feel like whoever wins our series is probably going to come out the East. That's what it kind of looking like. But um, Detroit going up 1-0 on Cleveland. Um, I mean, it was a decent game. Cade, doing what Cade does. Um, Detroit is also on a, you know, momentum swing after going 7 games with Orlando, which wasn't ideal for them, and it was definitely a surprise. They had to fight all the way back,
Mm-hmm.
to win that series. So they're definitely on a little heater also. And then you flip it over to Cleveland. People now are starting to question Donovan Mitchell. If he a guy that can make it happen because now this is what his third playoff series with Cleveland. Being and like the top three seed, a high seed, and just not getting the job done. You couldn't do it with Darius Garland. They swapped him out for older James Harden, who we know James' history in the playoffs, especially in the second round. It seemed like each time he gets deeper and deeper in the playoffs, his play just drops,
Declines.
decline each round. Second round, he's not very good in the second round. We've seen a lot of second round matchups with
And,
him
and
here in Philly and in Houston. You
right, go
know,
ahead. I was going to say that to underline your
yeah,
point. The sample
yeah,
size.
like yeah,
Right.
like we've seen it. So is this the place where maybe he'll step up in the game two and the game three? To help Cleveland move on, or will we get the same James where he just disappears and make weird decisions and shoot all over the place and dribble the ball until it's 2 seconds on the shot clock and then he just passing it or taking a terrible shot. So we don't know. But we're definitely going to find out tomorrow. And then um how you feel about that Cleveland series?
I think Cleveland is done.
Oh,
I think, yeah, I think that the Detroit Pistons got their second win when they beat Orlando, and they realized that really all season long nobody talked about the Pistons, right? Nobody put what did they say, Browski? Put no respect on their name, right? They got all these guys, these guys now who are trying to become household names. The Cunninghams, the Durans of the world, and those guys. Even Tobias Harris, who's the veteran, who does his thing. JB Bickerstaff, who's coaching these guys. That the Pistons don't get the respect. You know why? Because they don't earn the respect. They were down to an Orlando team. They were supposed to really wipe off the face. 1-8. They're supposed to get them out of here early, and they didn't. So that kind of like took a lot of what do you say, Broski? Took a lot of cachet out of their situation. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So now they come home against the Detroit against the Cleveland Cavaliers and do their numbers. I mean, even though Cato had 23, Tobias had 20, right?
Hmm.
Um, I think that even your Duncan Robinsons of the world and those guys, the Stewarts of the world, those guys, the Cleveland Cavaliers have the roster to compete with Detroit. But
Yeah.
like you said, Kimmy, the lights turn up a notch higher in the playoffs, and a lot of people were like, when they get this shine time for them, they disappear, and we're seeing it. We're not saying, oh well, it's only this game, it's only that. It's a whole litany for James Harden of him not being, showing up in big spots for the Houston Rockets, for the
Absolutely.
Clippers, for the
For
Philadelphia
us,
76ers.
yeah.
Like, what are we
We
doing?
seen it. We seen it.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, when you have a guy like James Harden playing with a guy like Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, you got,
And
how
Wade and
you
Jared
got
Allen. Yeah.
you got a team that's supposed to be able to compete. Was it last year when they won like 20 games in a row? Or
Yes.
was it the year before that? Might have been last year before. They won
No,
20
it was
games.
last year. It
And
was
they
last
got
year.
right now. And they didn't have James Harden.
Nope. They was on a heater.
So when you talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers against Detroit, now Detroit is getting this one to get their proverbial groove back.
Yeah.
Right? They run through a Cleveland Cavaliers team, and this is what we talk about, Broski, is a 7-game thing. They run through this Cleveland Cavaliers team, they get well rested, get ready for the Eastern Conference Finals. Who they're gonna play is gonna be the New York Knicks, right? So here we go. So again, for me, the Cleveland Cavaliers, if they want any respect put on their name, they better make this a long series, or it's not going to be a long series. And nobody, and that Cavalier team is going to have to be something has to be done with it. Atkinson, I mean, I get you, B, but you've got talent. You got talent to compete. If the Orlando Magic, and not taking nothing away from them because they're talented as well, but they got rid of their coach, right?
Which I don't agree on. I thought that was a bad look.
If the Orlando Magic could take Detroit to 7 games, and they were supposed to be like not ready yet, why can't the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are a team that's there and ready, that's championship material, can't take Detroit to 7 games? So
Yeah.
this is what we call right now, Brasky. We talked about this last year. The race to the rest, right? If you can win a series in 4 games, by all means, do it. Get you that rest. If you can
Yeah.
win a series in 5 games, do it. Just don't have to go to 7 because you get no rest, and then you got to
No
turn right
rest at
around
all.
and
Yep.
go to the next round. So again, I feel like the Detroit Pistons are getting themselves together, and I think the Cleveland Cavaliers is a barometer, the proper barometer for them to get themselves together. Watching the Knicks and the Sixers right now, Game 2 is underway. But yeah, I think that Game 2 tomorrow night in Detroit, Cleveland's going to have to really put their foot on the gas because Detroit's going to be ready to go up 2-0.
Yeah.
So that's what it is with that. We're gonna get into some more NBA But NBA playoffs, as far as the Western Conference basketball, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on the San Antonio Spurs and the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Man, when we thought that it wasn't going to be no Ant Man out there, I was like, oh man. I said no Ant. I said Spurs may. I said they may give him like a gentleman's sweep. I gave him a game, but once Ant said he was playing, I said, oh, that changes everything.
Hmm.
And even though he scored what like 18 points, he had like 18 or something like that. Um, they came out with that 2-point victory. Um,
On the road.
on the road in San Antonio, stole home court. It was actually pretty shocking. What Ant had, and he didn't even start. Yeah, he had 18 points. He
Hmm.
played 25 minutes. He didn't. He came off the bench. Um, Julius Randle came through. He played there the whole game. 21 points.
41 minutes.
Um, for, crazy. 21 points, 10 rebounds, couple assists. You had McDaniels, 16 points. Um, Mike Conley, 12. Shannon, 16. Nas Reed, 12. And then, like I said, Anthony Edwards with 18. So it was definitely a team win. Um, what I noticed is that they, on defense, I have to give Rudy Gobert credit, because he played some great defense against Wemby. You know, one thing I noticed about Wemby, you have to be physical with him. You
Hmm.
can't just let him get the pass. You know, you
Get
got to
this.
put a body on him. You
Mhm.
got to interrupt his space. You can't just give him all
Mhm.
the space. And Rudy was doing a lot of that. He did every shot wasn't an easy shot. He had to make some tough plays. He had a very interesting triple double. He had
Hold
what
up.
12 blocks.
Hold up. Richie Rich.
What?
I would love the Knicks to play against
Oh,
James in the
mm,
finals. If you're referring to the Eastern Conference Finals, but if the NBA Finals, no. But it's all good. Appreciate you, Richie Rich, 8420. Um, first they gotta get themselves situated with the Detroit Pistons. But go ahead, Browski, finish your thought.
no, I was just saying that Webby had an interesting triple double. He
Yeah,
had
11, yeah, go
11
ahead.
block. We had like 12 blocks, he had 11 points,
11
18
points,
rebounds, and what
and 12
like
blocks.
12 blocks. I said, oh, if that may not defensive player of the year, I don't know, who is. But then when you look at everybody else, Stephen Castle, 17, Vessel 14, Fox 10, it was like Harper 18. I feel like Castle, when you see your guy and Wimby kind of struggling on the offensive side, I feel like that's when you need to know, like, I need to take over. You know,
Mm,
like 17 points, yeah, that sounds good, but when you go on against a team like, excuse me, the Timberwolves, I need you to give me at least 20 to 25, because with it coming back, he's only going to give you, he only gave you 18 the other day. You think he's going to give you 18 in game two? You think he's going to give you 18 in game three?
mm,
This guy just going to get better with time.
mm,
And I think with him back, it definitely makes the series a little bit more tighter. I do expect Wemby to have a better game because Wemby, to me, he's a true competitor. He doesn't like to lose. That's one thing I notice and respect about him. He don't like to lose, and I feel like he take the lessons from the previous game and I think he will make his adjustment and probably be a little bit more aggressive on the offensive side. And I can see them even out this series. How do you feel about that?
Um, I feel like if the San Antonio Spurs are in real world time now.
Hmm.
It's not an 82 game season where you can say, "Oh, this team has had a stretch. They beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 3 out of 4 times, and that and the third." Everybody's at 0-0.
Yes.
You could do whatever you need to do to get to where you need to be, but right now, last night was a statement game. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that's been there, right? San Antonio Spurs now are a team that has not been there in a while, but they have a championship pedigree. But now they try to get back to that spot, right?
Hmm.
Um, I don't want to hear people say, like, "Oh, did we rush it?" No, not at all. Because look at Victor Wembanyama's numbers. He still had great numbers last night. They wasn't 30, 12, and 11, but he still had a nice triple double across the board. How many blocks did he have?
12.
Right. So that speaks to itself. But like you said, he's doing it on the defensive end. So some of the offensive slack has to be picked up by these guys who we consider the De'Aaron Foxes of the world, the Champagnes of the world, the Vassals of the
Hmm.
world. Those guys have to step up because this is where you want to be,
Yeah.
right? You think this is something. Wait till you get to the Western Conference Finals if you get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I think that it's learning. The curve is going to be a little bit steeper as we go because every game is going to mean much more. You know what I mean? So for me, if I'm the Timberwolves right now, I say to myself, I say, you know what? We stole the game in San Antonio, which is our objective. We
Hmm.
get them for 2 in Minnesota, right? If we have to come back to San Antonio, right? We can come back even, or we can come back up 3-1. That's up.
Hmm.
It depends on what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Are the Spurs vulnerable? Every team in the playoffs is vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it's going to be up to the Spurs to have those San Antonio Spurs type of games. But this is not the Portland Trailblazers you're playing. You're playing the Minnesota Timberwolves who have Ant coming off the bench, and you couldn't take advantage of that,
Yeah. He only played
right?
25 minutes too.
Yeah, right.
18 points
So
in
again,
25 minutes. Crazy.
right. So all of those things, Rowski's her attention is divided because she's watching the Cal Fitness player. But you know, everything is in your wheelbarrow for you to be successful, and you find yourself down 0-1. Um, Lakers and the Thunder. Is this the last hurrah for LeBron James?
They need Luca back bad.
Let's see. Yeah, right.
Against OKC. They don't have enough scoring. You know, LeBron is 40. He's giving them everything. I mean, they got Austin Reeves back. Um, what happened? Where was Luke Kennard? Luke Kennard was looking like the second coming of Larry Bird in the last series, and they need more of that from them. But they definitely need Luca bad. You not gonna you can't outscore these guys. OKC can score on every level. Like I said, Luke Kennard played 30 minutes, gave 7 points.
Mm.
Austin Reeves 8 points. Marcus Smart 12. Deontay Ayton 10. I mean, he gave you 10 and 12. I don't expect much from Deontay Ayton. People who have been rocking with us for years, they know how I feel about Deontay Ayton. I feel like any team that has this guy on their roster will not win the championship. Um, because I don't think he's a championship caliber player. Um, Hachimura 18 points. LeBron had 27. It's like you need Luca. Um, I saw a video of him on TikTok like dancing at some wedding. I don't know when this wedding was. I'm like, well, how's the hamstring, buddy? Because you out here busting the move out here in dress shoes. You want me
Avatar.
busting a move on this flat top in these sneakers? Like
Hmm.
what's happening? But Shay, Shay had 18. Chet had 24. Chet was giving Deontay Ayton the business.
Deontay Aiton's a bum.
Yeah, but exactly like what Chet was giving him the business. Yeah, Mitchell was 18. Um, McCain had 12 off the bench. Luke Dirk had 6. Hartenstein had 8. So they got a lot of scoring, sporadic scoring from the bench versus the Lakers, and the Lakers need Luka. I can't express it anymore. It's like LeBron can score 36 in game 2 and they will still lose because
By
you're
20.
gonna you gonna tell me that again a guy in SGA he's going to consistently give you 18? No, he's going to go off and give you like a 30 burger in one of these games. It might be game 2, but the Lakers they need more scoring. If LeBron is giving you 27, I need somebody else to give me 25 or 26 or maybe 30. Austin Reeves gotta give me more than 8 points. You gave 8 points, bro.
I
That's
can give him
not
eight
going.
points.
That's not even going. That's not cutting it. They need Luca bad, man. Without Luca, they don't
No,
have
what
a chance.
about Bronny? What's Bronny doing? Bronny can't help
Bronny,
him? I'm
listen,
sorry. I'm sorry.
listen. Bronny only gets in when they getting blown out or they blowing someone out. Okay, this is the
Oh,
second round now, but they're not gonna do nothing without Luca. I don't know if they saying game 4, maybe game 3. It might be game over for the Lakers by the time Luca's back.
hmm.
Able to get back on the court
That's real.
because with a team like OKC that are front runners, you can't go down 2-0 because that 2-0 with OKC is going to turn to 3-0. And then that 3-0 may turn into a sweep because these guys, when they off and running, they're going. And unfortunately, the Lakers and the Lakers style, the half court, the slow pace, it's a mixed match because you got a team of young guys that's running up and down the court. LeBron's going to be gassed by game 3, trying to keep up with these young guys running up and down the court. But that's what OKC do. They run. So
They've been running them all season. They've won all 4 games by average of 30 points.
yes,
So it's whatever's going on now. It's been going on. It's been continuation, but like you said, Broski, it's going to get worse because there's no Luka Doncic, and
yes,
worse than that because he's not getting any help. I mean, Rui Hachimura can chip in 18 points and this and that and the third, but where are we getting it all around? You know what I mean? So again, Oklahoma City is probably going to be in the Western Conference Finals. Are we gonna and right now I guess could call it a little bit and say I think we're gonna see Oklahoma City and San Antonio in the Western Conference Finals. I think San Antonio's gonna get together. They're gonna find their way. But I think it's gonna be a struggle
yes,
for them. But here we go again, Broski. We're back to the rest thing. If Oklahoma City can get the Lakers out of here in 4, they're gonna be rested watching the Spurs
yes,
struggle with Ant Man in them for 7 games. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So again, it's to your advantage to get that team that you're playing in the playoffs, especially if you're the big favorite, out of here, so you can
yeah.
get rested. So that's where we're at with that. What do you see as far as LeBron after this series is over? If they get swept, and he pulled the LeBron thing, left off the court before the game was over. So
Yeah.
this is him. This is what he does. I've been saying this forever about this guy, but I'm not gonna pile on. I'll let it speak for
I think if when they lose this series, if it's in 4 games or five,
Mm-hmm.
um, I think he comes back for another year.
Mm.
I think
Why
that,
not?
and I think the decision will take longer. I don't think it will be out, right away. I think he takes his time, and at the last moment, I think he'll say, I'm gonna come back for one more year. Cause this didn't really feel like a retirement tour season.
Right. You
This
gotta get. You gotta
this
get. You gotta
seems
get that. You gotta get that
yeah,
right.
this seems like it was just a regular season for him. It didn't really seem like, yeah, this my retirement tour. So maybe one more year. We'll see.
We're in the building, man. It's not Tuesday, as usual, but Browski had some things that she had to take care of, and we wanted to kind of chop it up with y'all, man, as this game is going on right now. What I got, Browski, is 19-18 Sixers with
Mhm.
about 4:05 to go in the first quarter. Um, we chopping it up with y'all because that's what we want to do, and that's what we're here to do. Browski and myself, aka Left Handed. Um, and it's a lot of stuff to talk about, man. The NBA draft lottery is this Sunday. I feel,
Yeah, but the ping pongs, the new ones.
yeah, I feel about
Yeah.
this lottery, this draft lottery and NBA draft, kind of how I felt about the NBA, the NFL draft. I mean, once you get past the first 5, 6 names, it's whatever's clever, man. It's
It's whatever's left.
literally
It's
whatever's clever.
whatever's left.
You know what I mean?
But I think the interesting thing is it's going to be the new format and see because so Dallas had the first overall pick last season, right?
You got Cooper Flag.
Yeah, so they should not be eligible for. They're not going to be eligible to get the number one overall because according to the new rules, team that you can't get back to back
#1 picks.
first overall pick or back to back. I think top three picks.
Okay.
I think you gotta yeah you can't top five. You can't have back to back first overall picks, and you can't have back to back top five overall picks. So we
Mhm.
should see different teams in the top five. So this is showing me that the NBA number one is trying to cut down on tanking, which is always a plus. But we are also going to see these college kids have a chance to go to a big market team that's not terrible, but just wasn't good enough. Like like a team like the Pacers, who was terrible this year because their star player was injured all year. So now you're thinking, oh, he's coming back, and then what if, for some strange reason, they get a top five pick? So that's like a plus for them. So now we're not going to have the Wizards with the first overall pick for the 20th time, or we not, stuff like that. So I I actually like the new format. I think it's interesting, and I think it will not cause balance in the league, but give players better opportunity to be in a better situation. Because we see a lot of top five talent go to places where their career dies, or we don't really see them until they're on their second team.
Hmm.
So
Like, oh, I forgot about him.
exactly.
I'm gonna jump out the window, right?
Hmm.
And we have some fun with it. We doing 2 hours tonight, man. We rocking out. We doing 2 hours. Um, let's just be call it what it is. The Washington Wizards get the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft. The Washington Wizards select AJ Dembinsta from BYU. Um, I think that Dembinsta is the consensus number one. Um, him going to Washington just continues the story of disappearing acts, the Twilight Zone, the Bermuda Triangle, whatever you want to call it. Um, can you still make? See, this is why I like this, Belsky. Let's get into this for a hot minute.
But
This is why I like this. This way that they're doing the draft because again, it's a mystery, right? We have the draft lottery coming up on Sunday. The new format for the NBA draft. He's gonna put eyeballs on this. You got a kid like AJ DeBenza. You got Cam Boozer. You got the guy, Mr. Mystery Meat, Darren Peterson. You got all these guys that, after that, Caleb Wilson, right, from North Carolina. The kid from Arkansas, Acuff, the point guard,
yeah,
right? So then you go Wagner,
you
the
got
kid from Illinois,
Wagner from
uh,
Illinois.
Clement from Houston.
Yeah.
After that, the couple of big guys from Michigan, well, Lindenborg and the other guy, the dude that
Mara, Ade
crazy.
Mara.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're names that we're going to recognize.
Yeah, but
But, yeah, where they end up? If you see a guy like Darren Peterson end up in Sacramento, we didn't see him play anyway, right? So again, the mystery is like who's the order of the draft lottery, the top 5, 6, 7 names. After that, it's basically developmental school. Um,
yeah.
hey, Basky, look.
Developmental school, yeah.
Mental school because so we can't even project like to say, well, if Darren Peterson ends up with like the Brooklyn Nets or Sacramento with the Bulls or something like that, because there's still potential trades that could be made. You know what I mean? So it's all leading up to this drama that we call the NBA draft, and I think that it comes with the territory. If there's a draft that has little to no drama, who's gonna watch that?
Exactly. It gotta. I mean, you
You
gotta
know what I
have
mean?
drama at the draft.
Yeah, you gotta have some kind of drama. So I think that this draft is interesting for that reason alone, and that's why we spoke to it. And there's a few players, but it's definitely when you go from the top of the first round to the bottom of the first round, the bottom of the first round it bottoms out after
It,
10 or 11.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
say 10, maybe 7 players, maybe 1 through 7. Yeah, maybe seven
One of those
really
seven
good
players,
players.
one of those
Maybe
seven players has to be Jaden Quaintance from Kentucky.
I give you about I give you 7. I give you 5 really good plays. Like, all right, you can plug them in; they'll make an impact.
Mhm.
7, okay, like good ones. 10, all right. He may be a project. He may need to get a little bit. You know um he may be a project, but it's really 5. I give 5 solid players in this draft, not as many as last year, you know, or the years before. I don't see 10 or
I, just, I,
15.
just, I don't see it, son. And I just can't even really front and say, well, this draft, you might have some surprises. You may have a diamond in the rough.
It
Nah,
yeah.
B. Nah, B. This draft is kind of like the NFL draft. You got a couple of guys up top, and then everything else is like best player available type vibe.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. We in the building, man. I'm going to let Browski do her thing. We get ready to talk about her third favorite part of the show, right? It's the ubiquitous MLB chop up.
Yeah.
Browski was talking junk about the Knicks. Browski was talking junk about New York City. But you know what? I'm gonna let Browski tell y'all who the manager is for her beloved Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, some people try to set me up, and make me have to say. But yeah, we got Don Manley. He came in the season as being the bench coach. I, as you have seen and heard me say and rant on this microphone, the Phillies have been playing like hot garbage. For almost like a month and a half, we forgot how to play baseball. And unfortunately, our beloved manager, Rob Thompson, was fired. And, Don Manley he took over as, active manager for this season. And now we're on like a 9-game winning streak, you know. Um, right now we're currently playing the Athletics. It's 1-0 going into the fifth. But yeah, we've been winning some games. People have learned how to play baseball again. It took a guy to get fired, for us to realize that we're playing like hot garbage and people need to be held accountable. Um, it, I feel bad for Topper because I don't think it was his fault at all. Topper is he's a player's coach, and I just think that the roster that we had that he didn't put together, the guy in the office and Dave Dombrowski, um, the king of running it back with the same guys to get the same results, and then you turn around and you say, you know what, we're gonna let you go, Rob, because it's not working. Yeah, well, it's not going to work because it didn't work for the past 3 years with the same guys. We didn't make no splash in free agency. Didn't make a splash during the trade deadline. Um, we'll see what happens this year during the trade deadline because, as we have been preaching to you guys out there, that I hope you guys are paying attention, that we may not have baseball next year. So, with the trade deadline approaching, hopefully we will be buyers and try to bring someone in to help us immediately. We've been I've been saying on this microphone since we let Reese Hobson go that we've been looking for our power right back, you know, and we haven't really found that guy. So hopefully, maybe during the trade deadline, we can make a move and we can get a right hand. We can get a right bat in there because for some reason everybody on the Phillies they bat left-handed. We got a bunch of lefties, so it's a bunch of lefty on lefty matchups, and
Ain't nothing wrong with having a bunch of left-handed
it's
people on your team. Ain't nothing wrong with that at
not
all.
very favorable for us, but we'll see. Again, it's early. We have our first official check-in during after Memorial Day, weekend. We will have our first official check-in
Mm-hmm.
on our teams and the state of the league. Um, so I'm not going to jump out the window on the Phillies. It's great to see Bryce, getting the back together. Hit 2 home runs last night. He's been seeing the ball a lot better, making better decisions at the plate. The defense was playing a lot better. Christopher Sanchez, our ace, he went 8 innings, 10 strikeouts. Fantastic game. Um, so, like I said, I'm not jumping out the window. It was sad to see him go, but sometimes change has to happen. I'm just glad they didn't wait to the middle of the season, to get rid of a guy. It's like, well, just do it now. It's still the beginning of the season. You can still salvage the season. We've done it before when Topper came in, when we had another New York guy and Joe Girardi, who was who was standing up there with his player's card and he just shuffling things. He looked like he didn't know what he was doing in the dugout. He was looking confused, and we had to get him out of here. And Topper took over, and we had some great years with him. Multiple 90+ win seasons, a World Series appearance, back-to-back NL East champion. You know, we, like I said, we went to a World Series. We've been to the postseasons. Back to back years. So we had a good run with them. We'll see what the future brings, but still early. What's going on with these Yankees?
Um, everything, everything is everything right now. But it's May, man. So,
Exactly.
can we get past Mother's Day? Salute to all the moms out there. This weekend's going down. Can we get past Memorial Day? We got our first check in, right? Um, let's get to um some summer baseball. You know what I mean? Then we
Hmm.
can talk about, lock in, what our teams look like, and we can start making, plans for August and September. But right now, we're just kind of like getting it together. Ben Rice is going crazy, right? He's hitting home
Hmm.
runs. You know what I mean? He's doing what John Carlos Stanton should have done, but it's okay. He's hurt as per usual. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. So Aaron Judge is doing his thing, but you know how I feel about Aaron Judge. I don't feel like whatever he does is anything outstanding until he does in October. That's just me. You could have all the MVPs and you could hit 5 million home runs and all that, but if you ain't having no parade like Derek Jeter had, not once, not twice, not thrice, not 4 times, but 5 times, right? If you can't have at least one, and see, Browski, this is the New York City Yankee fan math. This is hindering on as a kid, right? I watched the Yankees lose the World Series in '76 against Cincinnati. Won the World Series in '77 against the Dodgers. Won the World Series in '78 against the Dodgers. Didn't win the World Series again until 1996. 18 years. It's 2026 right now. When the last time the Yankees won the World Series? 2009. From 2009 to now is how many years? So for me, it's deja vu all over again. I can talk whatever, say whatever I want about the Yankees. If I don't like what Aaron Judge is doing because he dropped the ball in Game 5 of the World Series, that's on me. See, we're different. I don't care about that. Oh, we're gonna forgive him and no, because you still have to prop this dude up to be the best thing since sliced bread, and I ain't seen it because you ain't got a ring to show me like Derek Jeter got. Even A-Rod got a ring,
He
right?
does.
So how you gonna put yourself in that company when you dropping fly balls in Game 5 in the World Series? Oh yeah, I'm hopping on that, B. I'm staying on that because you're the face of the franchise. You're the face. You're the guy that make. If the Yankees don't, and it's been proven, when Aaron Judge is not in the lineup, the Yankees lineup is stagnant.
Hmm.
Nobody can carry that lineup. Not Jazz Chisholm, not John Carlos Stanton, not Ben Rice, not Paul Goldschmidt, not Austin Wells. Definitely not Ryan McMahon, right? Cody Bellinger is doing his numbers. I'm not mad at that. But again, Browski, can we let it off and say it's May, man?
It's May.
You know what I mean? So all this talk is what we're doing right now is just pontificating. You like that? Pontificate. Right? That's all we're doing right now. So it doesn't and the passion that we're showing is because we don't know if we're gonna get another April and May.
Don't know.
April and May of 2027 is very much in doubt. So again, we that's the perspective we come from. We don't come from the clown perspective and this and that and the third. We come from the realistic perspective,
Yeah.
passionate
Don't know.
because we don't know.
Don't
And then
know.
the let's say what do I say, Kimmy? I don't want to make nobody feel like bad or nothing, but I guess the baseball fan who's not into it, like we're into it, they're not probably even paying attention, Kim.
Yeah. It's
August,
gonna be a
September.
shock to him. It's gonna be a shock no
Yeah,
matter
and
what.
there you go, Browski.
It's
There you go.
gonna
Like
it's gonna
what?
strike him. It's gonna strike him.
Why? Why?
Why?
Why? Tell me about this or down in sports. Why did they tell us?
Why? Why is this happening?
Yeah, why is this? Where did
It's
this
so
come from?
sudden. Like,
So again, talking passionate about our teams and stuff like that. Because why? Because we don't know, when the next thing is coming. Because it's really, really serious, and we don't even want to talk about that because it takes away from the topic. What we talk about is baseball, playing on the field, not the office stuff, and we leave that to them. You know what I mean?
mhm.
But I think that the Yankees right now doing, we're doing our thing. You know what I mean? But it's a long season, and I kind of wanted to talk about some other guys that I've been noticing that are really doing work. And it's we passed March, we passed April, we're into May now. One guy that I've noticed, the third baseman for the Chicago White Sox, the Murakami guy.
Oh yeah.
Every
Oh,
time, right,
he got
Browski?
what? He got what, like 15 home runs already? Like every time he's a monster at the
Every,
plate.
every highlight, he's hitting a home run.
It's
He's hitting a home
crazy.
run. Um, and I think that that's a great thing. You know what I mean? We go back. These new fans or whatever. They see these guys coming into the league. They see uh, Otanis and stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
we go back to Hideo Nomo. We go
Mm-hmm.
back to Matsui,
Ichiro.
Ichiro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like it's just that tradition is just carrying on. There's the Japanese guy that plays for third base for the Blue Jays.
Um,
He,
he's yeah. He's lighting up the kid named Suzuki from the Cubs. He's also lighting up.
he, yep,
But
yep.
but
Seiya
but
Suzuki.
yeah, but the guy from the White Sox, he was doing that in their league. So when he was sought over here, that was the big selling point. It's like, yo, this guy's a monster at the plate. He crushes the ball, and to see him able to translate his game from from
Hitting,
Japan to the States,
hitting major league pitching.
yeah, it's so different because you have such a variety of pitching styles
Mm-hmm.
and guys on the mound that you know you may like. I'm not going to say they don't have good pitching in Japan. I will never say that, but I think the level that he's seeing here, and also the variety, because you're seeing pitchers from the DR, Puerto Rico, from all these different countries, and again, you have guys like that that's playing in Japan, but it's not a lot of them in Japan because they have their own leagues in their respective countries too.
Countries. That's
So
right.
now that they are here, to see him and to see the Otanis and the Suzuki, like to see these guys able to dominate as they
Yep.
have
Mm-hmm.
at the plate, it's like, oh wow, it's like these guys, are the real deal. And like I said, I feel like every time he's up to bat, this guy's hitting a home run. Like, if y'all don't have him on your home run parlays, y'all sleeping.
Missing
This,
out.
this
Right.
guy, him, Ben Rice, like you said, Ben Rice, like these guys been hitting Mike Trout in the first couple months.
Yep.
He was
Yep. Mm-hmm.
these guys are just
Um,
hitting the balls out the
One
park.
team that for me, because I'm a big baseball head and I watch a lot. Um, you know who I'm disappointed in early? It's early, Kimmy, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who I'm disappointed in?
Well,
Seattle Mariners.
yeah,
The
they are
Mariners defense sucks.
so bad.
Their record is like seven. They're under 500. I know for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Um, a lot of people had them doing work in American League West this season. It's early,
It's
but
still
right.
early, but
Looking at the
I
Seattle
understand.
Mariners, like you know, they had won 6 out of 7. Then I think they got swept by the Kansas City Royals.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's early, but it's just something I noticed. The Mariners, when the season started, Cal Riley wasn't off, blasting home runs out the park.
He
You know what I
wasn't.
mean?
Uh,
Julio Rodriguez had like about a week and a half where he was doing his thing, and then he
yeah,
fell
and
off.
then he just fell off.
You know,
Uh, um, yeah, I could see Seattle. I give you a team that I'm kind of disappointed in that I
Hmm.
thought would give us a little bit of better showing, especially at the beginning. Is the San Francisco Giants. I,
Yeah, but with that,
we've been seeing the development going on there, and it's like they kind of like hit a wall so far, and so it's like, are they missing a piece? Like, what's I don't understand what's going on. Um, these, like I said, I thought the beginning of the season, these guys was going to take off. We played them twice. We split with them, but I was like, what they showed. I said, oh, I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, San Francisco got something going on, and then it just went, and it's keep going down, down. It's continuing going down. So it's like, I don't know. They 14-23 right now. And
that
they in
rookie,
the
that
AL
college was
West.
on his last legs.
Yeah, like you in the AL West, Dodgers got 23 wins, Padres got 22
Mhm.
wins, Arizona got 17 wins, and here you are at 14.
And you make a Buster Posey look bad.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So that's a team that, I was like, I was side-eyeing like, damn, that's crazy. I thought they would be a little bit better. You know, the the obvious choice would be the Mets. That's the
Right.
obvious
That's
choice.
the obvious choice. Right.
Okay,
Right.
because you signing all these big time
And man,
players.
yes. Yup. Yup.
Bro, Bochet, where are you at, bro?
Yup.
He left his game in Toronto. He
Left his game at the border.
listen, he looked like a totally different guy. Seeing him playing like that in New York, I said, oh, whew,
Browski,
thank you.
you know what I'm getting ready to say.
Go ahead.
Boba looked like Sean Alexander out there. I'm sorry.
Yo,
I'm, I'm
he does.
sorry. I'm sorry.
He does. It's
But yeah,
crazy. So
that's would be the obvious, blind mellow jelly Stevie Wonder pick. Um, and because again, people, Baskin was talking about, sweating bullets over here because about worried about the Mets. But I
yeah,
said, Browski, it's the Mets. The Mets are going to do Mets things. They could sign Juan Soto. They could sign, Juan Aponte. They could sign
yeah,
Chef Boyardee. They could sign Inspector Beck. They could sign whoever they want to sign, and it's going to be the Mets,
true.
right? So again, at the end of the day, we see what happened. People was disappointed and mad. Devin Williams left to go to the Mets. Luke Weaver left to go to the Mets. The year before, Clay Holmes left to go to the
Yep,
Mets. It's
yep,
okay.
yep.
Full Force had a record a long time ago. It's okay. It's
hmm
okay.
No, for real,
It's
for real.
okay.
I'm like,
I mean, the Mets fans was talking crazy, Bowski. They was talking like the 7 train is gonna be live, Yankees stink, and this and that, the third. And we sat back like this, Kim,
just watch,
and just watched.
just watch,
And
and
even
see,
though
and see.
it's only the middle of May, Mother's Day's coming up this weekend and all of that, it's the same old Mets.
Yeah, they actually start metting early. You
That's
know,
not
you really
a
don't get this level of metting until
June or
August,
July.
September. Look, look,
Yeah,
look, look. July, August, like right after the All Star break, it's like, oh,
right.
wait a minute, on cue, here's the Mets.
The Mets doing Mets things. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's another team with a manager that's different or whatever. But
they said they ain't
again,
gonna fire them. They said they ain't firing them.
listen, if I'm that guy, I'm gonna say, you know what, these dudes need to figure it out on their own.
True, we're
Because they're all
paying them so much money. They need to figure it out.
they need to
They
figure it
getting
out.
bread,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
remember when we talked about at the beginning of the season,
Hmm.
they're pitching. You invested
They went
so
and
much
they went and
money.
got Toronto, and they thought their problems were solved.
Yeah, you invest so much money in the bats that left. They forgot about the pitching. The bullpen is not like it was. Your starting rotation is like, what's happening. So it's the
Yeah.
Mets.
Yep. Oh, look at Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond out there looking like Andre Drummond of the past.
At least he ain't looking like Philip Drummond out here. Yeah, listen, this baseball season, man, it's going to be a lot of things. It's going to be some different things. The trade deadline is coming up. I think a lot of teams are looking at themselves like, hey, um, they're going to start considering and thinking a lot more about what's happening off the field, right?
Gonna be more
And
biased.
this race to the World Series this year,
Everybody, yeah. Right now,
everybody.
everybody's in the race right now. Everybody's in
Yep,
the race right
yep,
now.
yep. So that's what it is, and that's how it goes. Um, I told my man, salute to my man Darren, right? We're gonna talk some hockey. We're gonna jump into the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs right quick. Um, Philadelphia Flyers. What do we say? I'm gonna let you do
Listen,
the talking on that one, Browski. That's your
listen.
squad.
I'm not super big in hockey, but I do keep my ears to the ice.
Uh
Take a look
oh.
around. You
Right.
know, and we got some people hurt. You know, my man Owen. I'll say this: the Flyers are a very young team. Very young team. Still a lot of heart, crazy. Like they was up 2-1. You know, and they let Carolina come all the way back overtime to steal the game. But
Mm.
with Owen Toppin, he out. Um, the goalie, man, it was Carolina. Like I the Canes, listening to some of my hockey folks talk, and they
Mm-hmm.
told me they said, listen, Carolina is a tough go,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I was told that the way to beat them, you got to score early, you got to score fast, and you got to be physical with them because it says as soon as you take the foot off the gas, as we seen in game two, boom, they hit you roll quick, and that's when we in overtime. So we're down 2 games, and it's okay. We coming back home. These guys regroup, get a little home cooking, and just focus on one game at a time. You know, I'm proud of the Flyers because the Flyers has been the team that always has been looked at, as the less, you know.
Mm.
When we think about Philly sports, we go Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. Now it's going to start looking like Eagles, Flyers, Phillies, Sixers
Mm.
right now. Especially with this young group that they have on the ice. Hopefully, they're able to have some time to gel more together and maybe add in a leadership role and bring somebody in to help guide these young players. I mean, you got the kid, Sean Collier. He
Mm-hmm.
he's
Mm-hmm.
doing what he
Browski.
can do, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Let's
Um,
go.
but like I said, we just gotta get back to our style of play. Physical. When we played Pittsburgh, we was fighting every game. We was real physical. We got and I get it. They are in state rivals, and the Penguins they have owned us. So it was like, oh, okay, well we got our lick back, but I need them to have that same. aggression and physicality with the Canes. So hopefully we could bounce back and we win game three.
Yo, I want to put some respect on Browski's name. That's the longest he's ever. And I'm not mad. And you're absolutely right. I think that the Flyers. Nobody really expected this.
No.
All of this is gravy. The youngsters are coming through. They're putting them on the ice at in big moments, and they're coming through. The Penguins. That was a barometer series for you guys. I think that you did what you had to do, all the extra stuff, the in-state rivalry,
Hmm.
the history, all that. Y'all just said, no, we ain't worried about that. This is a new day now.
Hmm.
Moving on against the Carolina Hurricanes, they've been on top of the thing for the last 4 or 5 years now,
Yeah.
right? So you're gonna have to really take advantage of every bounce. You're gonna have to like be very, very active. They're very good, great up the middle. But what's been bothering the Flyers in this particular series right here has been the Hurricanes defense and goaltending. They got shut out in game one. They scored two goals in game two. I think home cooking will,
Help.
increase, yeah, absolutely help. But again, you're going against a veteran team who's done these things, so you
Hmm.
don't want to go down 3-0, right?
No.
I think the most important thing for the Flyers at this point is for them to score first in game three. If Carolina scores first in game three, all the air is out the balloon. The building's going to be in a frenzy already, hyped and
Hmm.
charged. You know what I'm saying? And then you score, that'll
Yeah.
continue the momentum. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's what I think as far as that's going. Um, he's going to see some guys that are struggling probably against Carolina because you know why? This is probably the furthest they've ever played into the season, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that factors into it too. But you know what? I'm gonna say this about the Philadelphia Flyers: they're going to be a problem for the next few years.
Yeah.
So again, this is just scratching the surface and letting the rest of the hockey community know that the Flyers are back. You know what I mean?
Wall Street Bullies.
Yeah, I mean it's actually how they say when the Knicks are good, the NBA is a when the Flyers are good. I think there's a lot of more interest in hockey
Hmm.
because I think that the Flyers are first of all the uniforms is crazy. They got like the dopest uniform. Them, the Minnesota Wild, Buffalo Sabres, well, that's another story.
Yeah.
But I think that watching the Flyers games, the goaltending, the kid that you got in goal,
Hmm.
he he can be a Bernie Perrant type dude.
Hmm.
You mentioned that you need a veteran to come in there, veteran presence to kind of like put it all together. You might need a enforcer to
Hmm.
protect the young kids that you got,
Yeah.
right? So kind of like step into that Broad Street bully bag because you
Hmm.
guys are already good.
Yeah.
You, it's none of that. Oh, we're an upcoming team and this and that and the third. No, you're good. Just
Hmm.
because if you go out 4-1 in this series, so what, right? So for me, it's the experience, it's the situation, and I think that this is a good thing all the way around. Um, Unfortunately for the Philadelphia Flyers, there's
Hmm.
a team in Buffalo
Oh
that is
God.
the
The
T
Sabres
R
are
U
just.
T H, the truth, and it's about time. The Buffalo Sabres are what it
Yeah.
is. But again, they're in a tough series as well with the Montreal Canadiens. So
Hmm.
Montreal's not going to, go out and say, "Well, hey, we're just going to let you walk over us because you're hot right now." But it
Yeah.
don't look like that. It's second period, Buffalo 3, Montreal 1. So the Buffalo Sabres ain't no joke. In the West, you got the Vegas Golden Knights and Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks are doing their thing. That series would be very, very good. Anaheim won game. I mean, Vegas won game one of that series. I'm expecting that series to be even going back to Anaheim, right?
Yeah.
Colorado and Minnesota. That I went the other night. They had what was 9-6.
Yeah. That's like a baseball score. I said this is baseball.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, I think that um, Colorado Avalanche, that's what they do. They're like, from Gabriel Landeskog and the guys that they've had on their team, that the Colorado Avalanche are the truth. But the Minnesota Wild are a good team as well. So I'd like put the Minnesota Wild maybe a notch or maybe a smidge above the Flyers in like
Hmm.
experience as far as going to the next level, right?
Hmm.
So I think that when you chalk it all up, I think right now a team like Carolina is glad because the Florida Panthers are not in the
Yeah,
playoff,
yeah.
right? So we're looking to see how it goes because it's still time to go into this thing. But we just wanted to talk about it and put some respect on our hockey people so they can stop beating me in the head about how come we don't ever talk about hockey. And now you see, Brasky is on her hockey thing. She's on
Listen,
a hockey thing, so you already know what the vibes is. Down there in sports, we are in the building. Official tissue, you already know what it is. Um, we're gonna do something different tonight. We're gonna have two get down on it. This is Browski's favorite part of the show. We wanted to put it in early tonight because we're going 2 hours. So we
hmm
wanted to give a early get down on it, and then we got to get down on it at the end of the show. What you getting down on right now, Browski?
um, I'm gonna get down on the WNBA.
Oh, that's 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's crazy because they have the pattern. You draft these players, you go
And
into training
then,
camp, and then you cut them. You know, we have the additional, two teams that get more roster spots, and it's like I, they don't even get a chance. Second year player, Haley Van
yeah.
Lith,
Mm-hmm.
she got cut by Chicago, and when she got cut, I kind of understood why because the direction that Chicago was going, seeing the players that they had brung in, I was like, yeah, it really wasn't a good fit for her there. But I'm glad to see that she got picked up by Connecticut Sun because she is very talented. So I'm glad to see that she found a home and hopefully she can make that roster. But I need these teams to really like, you shouldn't be able to just cut a player as soon as you draft them. Like it's just it's just crazy to me. You know, I'm and these are not like second round or third round. These are first round draft picks. That's just getting cut. So it makes me look like, well, were they ranked too high on the draft board? Did
What
whoever
was
evaluate?
your scout
Yeah,
smoke?
yeah, like what the scouting situation, like what the evaluation of these players not accurate, or it could be maybe they just was bad. I don't know, but I just hate to see that. Um, so early. Um, Also, I would definitely like to say that the top picks are actually showing you why they were top picks. Warren Betts looked great for Washington. I definitely questioned that pick, but they're actually making it work. I'm excited to see them in the regular season. They are a big team, but athletic bigs, and they look good out there. Fly J look amazing, and the girl that they traded um, Fly J for, they cut her in Seattle. They cut her. So like, what we make trade for? But okay, whatever. Fly J looks great for Seattle. Um, Raven Johnson look really good. She looked like she's definitely settling in Indiana. She got some familiar face with Aaliyah Boston being there. Her defense, she, you know, was a real tough defender in college, and that carried over. Like she plays really hard, so I'm real excited to see them um, during the regular season. Um, Natasha Cloud got got picked up. It was a campaign going around when people were saying that she was being blackballed from the league because she was, real outspoken about things. But I was like, I didn't think that. I just think that I knew that she was eventually get picked up by a team. I
Hmm.
just thought that they just needed some time to, for they to look at their rosters and see, who if she's better than this player or if she's better than that player.
Best
Like they
fit.
have, yeah. And I also want to give a salute to Tina Charles.
Yeah.
She announced
Salute.
her retirement.
Mhm.
Great player, champion, Olympian, a beast in the paint, a great defender. Um, and when you see players like her like retiring, it makes me think that maybe it's time for other people to get ready to step aside because the league is actually in a really good place now. I feel like some of the older players try to stay here because they want to.
That the money's there now.
Well, yeah, the money's there now, and I feel like they want to try to you know keep the league together. Try to hold on to it, but it's like you can let go. The
Hmm.
youth is
Yeah, it's
here.
in good hands,
The
right?
youth movement is here, and they're actually
Hmm.
um, taking the lead to bigger and better things. So, but yeah, definitely salute to Tina Charles. I wanted to, to say that. But what you getting down on?
I'm not getting out on nothing. That's this perfect segue right there to WNBA preview because the season starts on Friday.
Yes,
So
sir.
kind of wanted, to get into that. The last time we saw the WNBA in action, Asia Wilson was walking around with the WNBA Finals MVP award. They swept the Mercury. Very, very good playoffs. Now it's time to defend that. And they're coming
Yes.
into a season with elite talent with the Las Vegas Aces. Jackie Young, four-time All-Star. Aja with four MVPs in the finals, right? Um, and again, back to Jackie Young. She's only 28 years old and two-time
Mhm.
All WNBA. Chelsea
Yep.
Gray, six-time All-Star. It's like the Yankees lineup. Everybody's a MVP, an All Star, a champion. You know what I mean?
Also got Jewel Lord,
Absolutely,
back.
absolutely.
So they are
Uh,
definitely loaded.
are they loaded enough to defend their title, Browski?
Um, yes.
Okay.
And I'll say that because they still got Asia Wilson on the team. Okay. She is the standard. Um, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray. That core, having that core
Mm-hmm.
is very important. And that was one thing that in the off season it would look like it was going to be threatened because it's like, whoa, all right, so you got Asia back. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta bring back Jackie Young and Chelsea Gray. You can't let those two walk. And by them, able to bring them back, you need that along with Jewel, you know, also fitting right in with this team. Um, and then you have the addition of Kennedy Carter, who's a dog, you know, on there, and then you got Dana Evans, so they got a really good team to definitely defend the title this year. Um, Now when we look at other teams,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mr.
I'm gonna
Browski.
say that's limping into the season. New York Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu, she's hurt right now,
Mm-hmm.
But again, they still have. their core with Brianna Stewart,
John
Jonquel
Roach.
Jones, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then not only they bring in Satu Sabe, like that was a huge pickup for them for her to get there. Um, Also, you
They
got
got too because she was out for all last year.
yeah, and we
Mhm.
know how she gets down, and I feel like she's gonna fit in, especially with Sabrina, being hurt. Um, I think she got like a what she got, an MCL or something like that going on. Um, but I, are they the best? Are they the best team that's gonna like challenge the Aces? I mean, they
It's
could.
probably yet to be determined, right?
It's hard because a team that I think we gonna
Mm-hmm.
be looking at differently this year, and we
Mm-hmm.
see the improvement is the Atlanta Dream. I think the Atlanta Dream is going to really surprise a lot of people. Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, Brianna Jones, Jordan Canada, and they got the now ATL Barbie and Angel Reese on the squad now, Um, we
Angel
saw
Reese.
we saw how they looked last year, you
I'm sorry.
know, and but then you bring in that the energy of Angel Reese, who's a monster on the boards, who, look, you gotta give her credit. Even though if look, couple of those rebounds are her own, but she's still getting the rebounds. I think another year with Ryan Howard and Alicia Gray is going to be. I think they're in the right direction. They're moving in the right direction. I think each year they just get better and better, and I feel like this year, um, they may take it to the next level. But then what?
I'm gonna no. I was gonna say this. The only way is I watched
Hmm.
the Angel Reese thing.
Yeah.
Only way that they can make Atlanta infinitely better is if Angel Reese averages a strong double double. We know where
Hmm.
she's going to go with the rebounds. If she could average 13, 14 points to go with those rebounds, then we're
Hmm.
saying something. But until then, she's just with awkward layups and throwing the ball all over the place. And come on, son. What are we doing?
Listen, look, it works for her.
Eh,
It works for her. It works for her.
It works,
Um,
it works for
the only thing I can say about them is each year, like each year, they got better. They got better each year. So that's what I can say
Brittany
about
Griner's
Atlanta.
gone. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, Another team that I expect to be better is the Fever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, you think Fever, you go straight to Caitlin Clark. I'm
Right.
not going that route. I'm
Let's
not.
go, bro.
I'm not going that route.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it starts with Aaliyah Boston
Yep,
and Kelsey
Boston.
Mitchell.
Yep.
It
Yep.
starts with those two. Yes, Caitlin Clark is a phenomenal talent. Now she's in the role where she can't stay healthy. She's
Mm-hmm.
hurt
She only
right
played
now.
13 games last year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's hurt right now too. You
Yep.
know, so now she's in the realm of her best ability is availability, and she's never available right now. So the people who's holding down the team, as we saw last season when they made a
Mm-hmm.
nice run in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. So now you have them, and
Mm-hmm.
then you have not only you have the injury to Caitlin Clark, you still got Sophie Cunningham who's still battling an injury. Um, but then you bring in Monique Billings, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's go,
you
Husky.
you draft Raven Johnson, you know, great defender, rookie
Only help
defender,
you get better. That's right.
help you get better. Like I said, and then she have, Aaliyah Boston that she's familiar with from her South Carolina days. So, they can bring back their two-man game also. you know. Um, then you have what's her name? Shatori Walker,
Yep.
um, another one, you know. So it's like the easy answer is always Caitlin Clark. That you know, that's where you want to go, and I get it. Yes, okay. But
Hmm.
when we really dissect this Fever team, it starts and ends with Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. That's the 1-2 duo right there. So I definitely expect them to get to the second round, maybe to the conference finals. Who knows? You know. Um, and then everybody else, it's like then it starts to like you know trickle down a little bit. Like the LA Sparks, they got Kelsey Plum. You know, Kelsey's back. Derica Hamby, um, NECA's back there. Ariel Atkins, you know, Reed Burrell, and then they drafted Natalia Lawson from South Carolina, which can help because she's very versatile. You know, she has an outside shot. She also can play inside. Um, and I think a player like her definitely benefits by playing with Kelsey Plum. I love Kelsey. I think Kelsey is um, a phenomenal point guard. You know, I think she's a great leader. Um, the team look a lot different. You know, no Vakia Jackson. You know, Cameron hopefully will be back. You know, Cameron should be back. Maybe hopefully soon. We don't know how many games she's going to play. Hopefully she's healthy. You know, to have Cameron come back and have a good healthy season with this team that can uplift the Sparks, but she has to be healthy. You know, for them to really make some damage. Now that Rakia Jackson is gone, you ship Rakia to Chicago. Um, then Dallas Wings, Paige Becker, reigning MVP. You draft Ozzy Fudge from Connecticut. Here we go. The 1-2 duos back together. The one national titles together. Not only do you have her, you got Alana Smith.
Hmm.
You brought them in Jessica Shepard. You brought her
Oh,
in. Um, and you still got your girl, Akumalali. I always mess her last name up. But you got Arike who,
you better get a name right if you know what's good for you.
listen, I have no problem from Arike. Arike has
Smoke.
has been giving everybody the business out there, and now having Ozzy out there with Paige and with Enrique, you have like a three-headed monster. You know, so I think it's going to be interesting seeing that dynamic there, and then I gotta look at Phoenix too. Brittany Griner back. We got, you know, Brittany Griner not there. You got no more, Diana. Like all the old faces are gone. This is like a new team. Um, Clear, Copper. We got Alyssa. You got a lot of new faces here. It's kind of like they're on like a rebuild. Um, Dawana Bana, it's kind of hard to really gauge what this team is gonna, really go in it.
Hmm.
And then, also you got a team like the Minnesota Lynx, who who's gonna be missing, Nafisa Collins. That's the heart and soul of the team right there. She's out, with the ankle. I'm not sure when she's gonna be back, but then they draft Olivia Miles, pure point guard. Um, then you got, Kayla McBride, Courtney Williams. Um, then you also have, yeah, you get those. Yeah, those are what I really have to call the core. Because everybody else they lost in the expansion draft and free agency. Um, so I don't know when the feast is going to come back. This She hasn't played since like September. They
Mhm.
saying so. You're just going to have to wait on that, and see what the young cats can do. I really think Olivia is going to have. I think she's going to have a good season. I think she's gonna have a real good season there. I feel like we're gonna see a lot of good point guard battles. Between her, the Caitlin Clarks, the Kelseys. Like there's gonna be a lot of good point guard play. Then we go to Chicago, which is basically like Chicago just like rebuild their whole team. They broke it all down and like rebuild it all back up. It's like it's crazy. Everybody's going. It's like they building around um,
Cardozo.
Cardoza and Rakia. So now that's their new twin tower right there. Cardoza with Rakia Jackson. Then you
Hmm.
got Skylar Diggins, veteran, J.C. Sheldon, um, what's her name? Carrington. Um, you got Gail Stevenson, Azora Stevenson. So they basically just took last year's roster and said, let's throw it out. Let's bring in everybody. We're gonna bring in a whole new, team, and we're gonna keep you, Camilla. Like we said last year, they had to choose. It's either Angel or Camilla. They could not coexist together. They chose Camilla. Cool. Then state the course. And right now, with the people that got around her, they can have a good inside out game. Skylar Diggins, tough. Like DJ Carrington, tough. On the defensive side, and she gives you a lot of high energy, drive to the basket. She developed a nice shot. Then you got J.C. Sheldon also. So, and then they brought in Natasha Cloud. Also another vet, can handle the point. Um, Definitely ready to feed Camilla. So sky's the limit. No pun intended to the Chicago Sky. Because as I'm looking at it, it seems like the focal point is going to be Camilla slash Rakia Jackson because you gotta feed Rakia. She can create her own shots. They can. They got a team that they can make a little noise. Upon everybody stays healthy. Um,
Oh, it's on the
Golden.
expansion team, the
Yeah,
Toronto.
I was gonna say because then you got Golden State. Golden State the second year Golden State. They had a great first season.
Mm-hmm.
No one expected it. Went playoff 500 team, a lot of team basketball. That's what I said. Like they didn't have like one huge star. They had a bunch of role players that played together and had a successful first season. Um, I think we should see more. Um, Kayla Thornton still being on the team. She was really the backbone of that squad. She, led the way. She was All Star last year. So when we look at the new expansion teams that we're excited to see, the Toronto Tempo.
Hmm.
They got Brittany Skies. Maria Marbury, Kia Nurse. They drafted Kiki Rice. From UCLA. Um, they also got Isabella Harrison. So they picked up a lot of good role players from the expansion draft from other teams. Um, they got my girl that she played in Indiana, like Tammy um, Fagbag, Fagbag. She had played in. She was a center for the Fever. She's good. I like her because she got a lot of good energy. She's real active around the basket. Um, then also what was it Portland Fire? Or these like can these two expansion teams live up to the hype of what Golden State did? Because Golden State laid the foundation and said, yeah, we're brand new, but we're not going to lay down for you guys. We're going to
That's
play
right.
hard, and
That's right.
they did. Um, so I'm just excited, for to see this season. I'm excited to see, all the young players that we have grown to love in college basketball, the Fly J. Johnson, the Lauren Best, the Kiki Rice, like Olivia Miles, we see these women um, grow in college basketball, and they was at that height where it was like, oh my god, like this game is all that, when
And we didn't even get the juju yet.
yeah, exactly, and we're like a year out for Juju. We're another year out for my girl from Texas.
You know what we're talking about. Hey,
Yeah,
let's
I can't think of it's right on the tip of my tongue.
right on the tip of your tongue.
I can't think of the name, but yeah, so it's more to come, and as the talent, comes out of college, we get another team, Um, soon Connecticut will be moving to Houston, and we'll get the Comets back. I'm excited to see the Houston Comets return. Um, what the next expansion team is what Detroit? Is it Detroit? Because I know we're 2030.
Mm,
I can't think of what the next team is.
it's all good.
But yeah, I'm excited. Friday, WNBA season starts, and should be a fun summer.
I think once they, now that the um, economic situation has been taken care of,
Hmm.
now I think that you're going to see, I think a better brand of basketball. Not that it wasn't great already, but they were there's a lot of things about a lot of questions about what do you think that the league, the future of the league, and they want to deal with those questions. Or more of a how do you feel about your team tonight, and
Exactly.
that those type of things. So that's what we're looking
Hmm.
forward to. And finally, there's going to be some labor strife in any situation that you deal with, and it's just how you come about it, how you come out of it. So the
Yeah.
WNBA came out of it with, expansion in 2 or 3 consecutive years. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So they have to give themselves at least that much of credit for, as much as the internal signals might have been thrown. Hey, this is not the best moves. They're still expanding. Wow, you got Major League Baseball has been around over 100 years, and they can't get the geography together, and they get ready to expand.
They about it. Yeah.
Same thing with the NBA, right? So I feel like the WNBA has learned from those other major sports, and again. they're going to be around for a long time. So all those little girls just watching the WNBA right now and thinking that that could be you, it could be you,
It could be you. Yep.
right?
I agree.
So again, just stay the course, do what you got to do, and you can find yourself, in one of them positions. But just know that by the time that a 7, 8 year old girl is ready for that thing, the WNBA might have five more teams. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So again, they just have to, they got some kinks in the armor, as far as, like you said, they draft you one day, they cut you the next, they got to figure that out. We thought, what did we say, Broski, at the draft? We said, hey, with the expansion teams, it won't be as much as of that. You know what I mean? But hey, it wasn't as much of it.
Wasn't as much,
Because it was
but it
2 years
still
ago.
happened.
He was like, what is this? Every day
Yeah.
somebody was getting cut. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, um, somebody on this panel is not, and it's not Browski. Somebody on this panel said, I'm stupid. Somebody on the panel said when Browski ready to laugh. Somebody said on this panel, and it's not Yada Bear, that when those young ladies got drafted and then they got cut, how are they? How are they going to pay for their? I'm sorry. They don't got to worry about that now. They don't got to worry about that now. Send all your emails to this one over here. Send the emails to Yada Bears. But yeah, we're in the building, man. Down in sports, you know how we do it. Have some fun with it, man. Today is Wednesday. We had to figure it out, but we figured it out. We gave y'all 2 hours, man. You know what I mean? And we talked about stuff all over the place. Now we're gonna circle back, and this time we're gonna officially get into Browski's favorite part of the show, which is get down. What are we getting down on tonight, Browski? Before we get up out of here.
All right. Well, let's get down on something that we forgot to get down on last week.
Okay, let's go.
The NCAA expansion.
Oh,
76 teams. 76 teams, guys. Let me say it to you again. 76 teams. 64, 76. We're going to do 96 next year. Or just go to pure 100. So, we were talking about it, and it's like, so 76 teams. That means the first weekend, that Thursday, we're going to have, 12 games, 24 teams playing 12 games instead of 8 teams.
well,
First,
figure it out.
first seeds get buys.
And now it's going to be from each bracket is going to be from 16 teams to 18 teams
Yeah.
because you got to figure you're going to have first four,
And,
right?
and then
So
also, you
now,
also got to factor in, too, that, it's going to have different sites now because you always know that the first four Dayton, so now you can't put all the games in Dayton now. So what other city's going to get? So
right.
now that's more money that the NCAA is going to get because now they're going to be going to other cities
Mm-hmm.
during that first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crazy.
Listen, Kim, I think that, the NCAA is in scramble mode. We know that. Whatever they do, it's in reaction to what's being done right now, as far as the
Yeah.
NIL is concerned. That's a steam rolling train that they cannot stop.
Mhm.
They can't control it, right? So their answer to that is Yada Bear, hey, let's just add 12 more teams to the NCAA tournament, create revenue for the schools, the host schools, some jobs for some people, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some more cachet to coaches who wouldn't have gotten to the tournament otherwise.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now they can say and walk with their chest out and say, "Hey, we made the NCAA tournament."
We made a tournament.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think The NCAA basketball, we're smart, right? We see it. The NCAA is trying to recoup everything back at one time, and that's not going to happen. It's going to take 15, 20 years for them to get back to where they want it. Because
Yeah,
right now, it's a monster that y'all created 50 and 60 and 70 years ago. Now it's coming back to bite you in the ass.
definitely is.
It's coming back to bite you in the ass in a major way. And now, instead of trying to figure it out and come to some kind of middle ground, so to speak, this might call for an arbitrator, right? The kids are definitely entitled to their worth. The institutions, how do they balance that and say, okay, it used to be a thing where we give you free room and board. Now, you ain't even got to stay on campus. Your NIL money, you could buy you a house, whatever.
Yep.
You know what I
Off
mean?
campus
So
apartment.
there you go. Absolutely. So the NCAA has to definitely figure out, and this is that, and it's not just basketball and football. It's all sports.
All
You know what I
sports.
mean? But in a major way, because those are the revenue producing sports,
Yeah.
basketball and football. I don't care what you say. You can have college baseball. That's cool. Volleyball, all that. That's fly. But football
And basketball, bread and
and
butter.
basketball are the two revenue generators
Yes.
for these NCAA schools. And so if a school like, let me just pick a school out the air, Tennessee, for example, has to pay their players, you're damn right. They're gonna want a chance to if they finish fifth or sixth in the SEC to say, you know what, we can still make the tournament.
Still make the tournament. So now that makes the conference championship, the conference tournaments more interesting because now it's gonna be more at large bids. So now we're gonna get schools that we haven't seen in the tournament.
We're gonna
All
get mad HBCUs.
all those first four ins, the first four out
Mhm.
teams are going to be in there now. We're going to have new first,
Yep.
four ins and four outs.
Yep.
Yeah, we get more HBCU teams.
Absolutely. And teams that you play what 32, 33 games during the season. You don't
Hmm.
have to win 25 games no more. You don't have to win 20 games no more.
You can win
18,
like 15.
18
You can win
17 gets you a
17.
tournament.
You can
Yeah,
win
that'll get you a
17
tournament.
games.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the NCAA, with their smarts, they actually outsmarted themselves. Instead of coming to a meeting of the minds, they want to fight against it. Like, oh, we're still better. We're the institution. We're going to show you how to do this. Nah. Not when you got kids that can go to this school this year. Like you said last, we say Browski last week, you go to 4 schools in 4 years.
You go four schools, 4 years.
You get
Four
a million
schools.
from each of them.
Yep. You got 4 million right there.
Right there.
Right
Off
there.
the rip. So I mean, the NCAA said, okay, we're going to add more teams to the Final Four.
Hmm.
We're adding more teams to the college football playoffs. Come on, Browski. We see it.
We said it's just gonna keep adding more and more until it's like, well, just do 100. We at 76. We're gonna
Right?
do what? We're gonna do what? Another 2 years, we'll be at 86. 2 more years, 90. Just go 100 then. We're gonna have
You know,
we're
I don't see
gonna
nothing wrong
have
with that.
March. We're gonna have March and April Madness.
March and April Madness, right? Because you get ready to have 16 college football playoff teams. So again, the NCAA is scrambling right now, yo. We just gonna keep it green because again, we ain't got no other choice. But again, the NCAA is trying to recoup all that in one fell swoop, and it's not gonna happen,
Yeah,
right?
it's sometimes oversaturating something that was already good. Like the
Mm-hmm.
64 team,
Mm-hmm.
it was perfect. It was like the perfect timing. You knew when March Madness started. You knew when it ended. It ended at the perfect time. You know, right, right there. And then it's like, oh, okay, cool. Now we get into the heart. You know, of baseball's coming there. You just
You
got
do
you
schedule,
just
right?
wrapped up
Mm-hmm.
football.
Mm-hmm.
You got baseball right around the corner. You got
Mm-hmm.
basketball right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we're gonna go into April,
Yep.
or are we? So now we start in conference tournaments in February. You know, that makes me think. It's like, so are we going to start the tournaments in February, or are we going to keep the conference tournaments in March and just expand the tournament dates into April? Because now we're in NBA territory.
Yep.
Where it's we're figuring out playoff positions, stuff like that, where the games really start to matter. And now you're telling me that, oh, wait a minute, let me finish watching the NCAA. I'm watching the Elite Eight, and it's April Fool's Day.
Hmm.
It's
Well, I mean, it
that
just
makes
says
sense.
that it's going to be a lot more, basketball. Absolutely, a lot more arenas, right? Um, and hey, they created this monster, so now they got to deal with it. Um, what am I getting down on? Real quick, I'm gonna get down on. This is what I said at the beginning of the show. It might hurt some feelings, but hey, this is what it is. Um, I don't care that you comment on baseball. You're a baseball fan. You're a football fan. You're just that and the third. You can love baseball all you want. I love that for you. But if you're gonna have something on Instagram, and I'm not trying to tell you what to do or none of that, I'm just trying to just make a suggestion. From the outside looking in, if you're gonna talk about having a love for baseball, include some baseball. It doesn't have to be as serious as how to score the game. With all that, oh yeah, this jersey looks fly and the food. That's cool. That's dope. But you're there for the game. And if you're there for the game, a little anecdote you could add in. Well, yeah, we have fun at this stadium right here. The food is great. And I'm looking fly or cute or however you want to describe yourself. But did you know that the reason why they call the foul pole or a little something that you could walk away and say, this is what I learned from this
Hmm.
platform. And so with cats like myself, and I'm gonna keep it on the eye, with cats like myself speak on different platforms on IG or whatever, I'm not coming at it from a place of disdain or hate. I'm coming up, this is what I would like to see for you. And
Hmm.
how you could, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and, and how you could involve and include baseball in your particular thing. It doesn't have to be because you're not there for the game. You're there to be seen at the game. I get it. I get it. But if you want to have the baseball thing be your hook, have something about baseball in your post. That's it. I know. So I'm not, and I hope that doesn't, rub you the wrong way or whatever. But it's just, it's just a suggestion. That's all. Myself, left-handed at RM Desk on Twitter, which is this right now. Over there is my code D in the building, Yada Bear, and I'm gonna let Yada Bear take us out with some play-by-play of the Sixers and the Knicks.
Oh man. Well, tied up for the third quarter, about 5 minutes. Leroy
Mm-hmm.
just missed a three. Knicks back got on defense. Cat driving to the lane. Missed the bucket but got the foul. Tight game.
Yep.
Oh, that Bona.
79, third quarter.
79
Let's.
tied up. Yep.
We're going to get up out of here. We'll see y'all next Tuesday. All right,
See y'all
Browski.
Tuesday.
We'll see y'all next week. All right, Tuesday for sure. Peace.
Peace.
Browski.